In the previous video, we discussed the HTTP message format and learned how to make an HTTP request with the REST client in Visual Studio Code. We now continue our journey, and we will learn how to make an HTTP request with the Fetch API in JavaScript. Let's get started. This is the HTTP request that we would like to make in JavaScript. First, let's inspect this HTTP request response cycle in the browser. What does this HTTP request look like when we perform it without JavaScript? To inspect it, we will need a server. I already have a server running in the background. It can respond to this HTTP request. Now I'm back in the browser. Let's send this HTTP request. I hit enter, and indeed we got a JSON document back. Now let's inspect the exchanged messages. With right click, then inspect, I open the developer tools, and under the network tab, we will see the messages exchanged in the background if we reload the page with Ctrl+R. That's the HTTP request response cycle that we are interested in. Let's inspect the request headers first. If this is unfamiliar to you, if you don't know what these are, then please watch the previous video where I explain it in detail. You find the link in the description below this video. The relevant lines are the first line, get/data.json HTTP 1.1, method, path, protocol. The method is get, the path is data.json, the protocol is HTTP 1.1. The other relevant line is the host header, host localhost 3000. Now let's inspect the headers of the response. Protocol, status code, and the description of the status code. In this case, these are HTTP 1.1, 200, meaning OK. The other relevant line is the content type, application JSON. We've received the JSON document that we also see on the left side panel. This is the HTTP request response cycle without JavaScript. I'm in Visual Studio Code, and we would like to make this HTTP request with JavaScript. To do it, we must call the built-in fetch function with two arguments. The first argument is the URL that we are trying to access. The second argument is a JavaScript object. This object can have several attributes. For us, the important ones are method, headers, body. Method, headers, body. Now let's build up this request step by step. The first argument to fetch is the URL that we are trying to access. In our case, it is http:// that's the protocol. HTTP 1.1, that's the protocol. Localhost 3000, that's the host. /data.json, that's the path. Note that the URL already takes care of the path, the protocol, and the host header. The second argument to fetch is a JavaScript object. It can have several attributes. For us, the interesting ones are method, headers, body. In this example, the method is get. We already took care of the host header with the URL, and we don't have any other headers, so the headers are an empty object. We are not trying to upload anything to the server, so we don't have a message body. We set the body to null. And we are ready to make this request. We must call the built-in fetch function with the URL and with the options object. The response will come back from the server eventually. Now let's execute this JavaScript code in the browser. To execute this JavaScript code, we need a server that will serve the source file to the browser so that the browser can execute our code. I already have this server running in the background. The source code of the server is available on GitHub. You find the link in the description below the video. Let's load and execute the JavaScript code in the browser. I visit localhost 3000 and with right-click, Inspect, I open the Developer Tools. Under the Sources tab, I see the index.js file that we just wrote in Visual Studio Code. To analyze the network messages, I open the Network tab, and I must reload the page with Ctrl-R. I'm only interested in the requests made by JavaScript, so I select Fetch XHR. And indeed, here is the request that we are interested in. Let's analyze the request response headers. The request headers are exactly the same as before. get/data.json http 1.1 and the host header is host:localhost 3000. The response headers are the same as before. http 1.1 200 OK and the content type is application JSON. We've received the JSON document, which we can preview in the Response tab. So all went well. I'm back in Visual Studio Code and I'm about to simplify the source code. Since this request is very common, these options happen to be the default settings. So we can delete them, we can leave them out. I can also make the URL inline. I don't need a separate variable for the URL. And now we repeat the request with this simplified source code. I've refreshed the page. This is the simplified source code that we would like to execute, and then we analyze the network messages. Let's reload the page by pressing Ctrl-R. And indeed, we got our JSON document, so nothing has changed. The simplified source code works as the previous code before. I am back in Visual Studio Code and I am about to make one last final simplification to the code. Assuming that we are happy with HTTP 1.1 as the protocol, and assuming that the JavaScript code is served from localhost 3000, we can delete both from the URL. And we can call fetch with just the path /data.json. Now let's check this in the browser. I've refreshed the page to load the simplified code. The default protocol is HTTP, so we haven't specified that one in the URL. Our JavaScript code is served from localhost 3000, so we don't specify the host in the URL either. The browser will automatically insert the host header, the origin, localhost 3000 in this case. Let's make this HTTP request. Under the Network tab, I hit Ctrl-R. And indeed, this is our JSON document, so the code works as it did before. In the upcoming videos, we will make fetch requests with non-default settings, so stay tuned. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please like it. If you have any questions or problems, please leave a comment right below, and I will do my best to get back to you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.